really overcrowded. We're basically built for 60 boys. We have 82, so we have some sleeping on the floor and so forth. But that's a good problem, not a bad problem. Here's the typical room. I always show you they live very simple at the Much City Village in the bamboo houses. They have one shelf on the left, so that's 4 shelves. That's 4 boys in one room there. They each have a shelf. Everything they own in their life, they have on that shelf. Okay? And I developed a sermon, I guess 2 years ago, called One Shelf Religion. And I use this slide in my presentation. It would be so good if we could all get down to one shelf living. I think we'd be happier people if that would happen. And they all have a little bed, of course, they sleep in. Here we are doing our Bible Bowl program, and this young man has just won a prize at his age group for the Bible competition we have every month. And so he's very happy about that, receiving the prize. Here's a good brother who came over with me, Ron, from, where's he from? Oklahoma? Somewhere in Oklahoma, okay. Him and his daughter and 3 other sisters came over. This is their 3rd trip over. They do Ladies' Day, BBS, other programs. Ron's a big fella, and he was very helpful in preaching and teaching, even peeling potatoes, as we had a Women's Day with 200 women, mainly all Hindu and so forth, who came. And we had to do, the men did the cooking, and the women survived, believe it or not. And since today's Mother's Day, and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers here, I hope your husbands will do the cooking, or at least take you out to eat somewhere today. Boys playing out here on the fields, and you can see how these young men are growing and getting taller. How quite a few now who are 16, 17, 18 years of age. And so they're reaching the point they have to make decisions in their life, so forth. Here we are getting ready to plant rice at the Mustard Seed Village. We plant rice every year. Predominantly, we feed the elephants with the rice. They always come about the time the rice is ready and plunder our rice field, but you just have to get out of their way. You can't stop an elephant. We try firecrackers. Sometimes the firecrackers will drive them into the jungle, but most of the time, if they're hungry, they don't hang around and eat the rice. But here we are taking rice from the rice planting bed on the right side, and you have to have a very muddy field to plant rice in. You plant in mud, and you soak water. It sits in water quite a while as it grows. No problem here. Can I use
Yeah, just you try
the middle button?
middle.
Yeah, I tried it. Let's see. No, I can use this right here. Okay. This right there. Okay. Let me just use there. Let's see. Here you see the boys working, and we're doing our gardening there, where we don't have rice, we just have a planted garden. You see all these broken limbs and growing up out through there. We're not trying to grow trees. This is what they stick. This is what they stick their beans with. You know, we go down to the store and buy the little cane poles and little green things you put in the ground for things. But there we have to go out in the jungle and cut down little trees, and that's where we grow our green beans on. And anything that climbs on a vine, they'll climb up on these trees and so forth. Here they are going to the creek for water. It's a daily job to water these plants during the dry season. So we get the water there. We have a tiller there that we use at Mustard Seed Village. We have a tractor at Rainbow Village, but here we are plowing the field, getting ready to plant maize, they call it. We call it corn. And you see a lot of green beans that the boys have picked here. And we grow a lot of green beans there. You see the rice is growing, and one thing about rice, like any garden, you got to weed it. So here we are out weeding the weeds from the rice, and sometimes that's hard to tell the difference, okay, between the rice growing and the weeds growing. It reminds you of the parable of the tares. Just let them grow together maybe sometime. Here we're having that Ladies' Day that we just had back in February or March, I believe. And you see 2 of the sisters on the left, and just a huge crowd that comes for our Ladies' Day. We had 2 conversions of Hindu women that I know from this meeting that we had. They did a good job. Here the Kathy and there's Ron, you see they're coming in for the first time to Mustard Seed Village. All the kids line up to greet them as they go to their cottage. And you're always welcome to come with them. We always try to get Americans to come and work with us, to experience what it's like to be, particularly in Northeast India. You know, you're living in the jungle, a very primitive area, and it's a good experience to have. Here we are cutting hair. We don't have barbershops, so the older boys cut the hair of the younger boys. And whether they like it or not, that's the haircut they're getting. They have no problem with it. Here's cleaning day. You know, on cleaning day, we do this maybe 2 or 3 times a year. Everything is taken out of the cottages, and their beds are taken out. Everything they own is put on their beds. We do a check for contraband on that day, make sure they don't have anything illegal in their possessions, like whatever, but something that perhaps doesn't belong to them. And then we clean the cottages very good. But we do this 2 or 3 times a year. Just a picture of me and some of the boys here. I always wear the official shirt when I'm over there. You noticed that, right? And here's 2 of the boys receiving packages from their parents here in the USA. These children just love to get cards. They love to be adopted by Americans, and they love to receive gifts in the mail. It just means the world to them. So appreciate those who support the boys at the Mustard Seed Village, which is all of you. At Rainbow, we continue to grow. Right now, we have 78 girls in the Rainbow Village. We have 15 little girls sleeping on the floor because we have no beds for them, and we're trying to remedy that situation. It continues to grow and do very, very well. Some pictures of the building. This building is a huge building where 4 families live on each end to oversee the children, and then the 78 children are living in the middle section, which is as big on the inside as this building is here, as far as where the girls have their beds and they sleep. Here's NG and his wife. They oversee Rainbow and everything that takes place there. Just a beautiful family. He's been with me for many years. Just a very good administrator of the Rainbow Village for Girls, along with his wife and those 2 twin sons, Adu and Aki, and the daughter Sofiana, and the other boy, Afu. Here's a picture of some of the Rainbow Village for Girls. Most of them, not all of them, but most of them. They, like the boy, begin their exercise at 5:30 in the morning. Now we've backed it up to 5 a.m. because of the new school timing. They have to eat, get dressed, and everything, be on the school bus by 6:15. So we begin at 5 a.m. It's light at 4 a.m., so it's not a big problem. And here they do a lot of running, they do a lot of exercise, and we run them a lot. They're in great shape, and if they're in good physical shape, their health tends to be good too. And so, just some pictures of these girls. I think these dresses were made here in USA, and you see them wearing very cute dresses on these girls. And you see the pants that these children are wearing. These pants also were either made by them or some were made over here and shipped over there. Here's some of the older girls. Just many girls there at the Rainbow Village for Girls. Some pictures of them. This is John Mark. Now, when he came to us, his name was Krishna. He's a very old man, no one to take care of him, so he was added to our grandfather program. He's one of our grandpapas on the property. He's just really good. He loves the kids. He works very hard in our tea garden every day, and he's just a good man. That picture's not very clear. Here's a picture of one of the girls eating. They eat lots of rice twice a day. If you give them rice, that's all they need. But we do give them some vegetables and meat twice a week. Some pictures of the girls. They borrowed my iPad and took these pictures. I found these later on. This is Malichi and Lucky Lata. Lucky Lata is one that eventually is going to have a liver transplant. I took her 4 or 5 months ago to a specialist, and he said, "You got about 2 more years, you know, what you got before that liver is totally finished." You know, they're having a Devo. The one sitting on Vespa Sanya, one of my older girls, she's teaching the class here on Sunday morning, the Bible class for some of the younger girls. And they do a lot of the teaching. Here the girls are making something. The sisters that came over taught them how to crochet, how do you say that? Knit. And boy, they really got into knitting and crocheting. You know, I have that problem in my home, and now I have it. And now I have it in this home. They always ask me, "Papa, give us some yarn, or give us some needles, or whatever." Here the girls are getting ready for our morning worship. The little bitty girls sit up front on the floor mats, and the older ones sit in the chairs toward the back of the benches. We grow so many vegetables at Rainbow. Our goal is to be self-supporting. I'd like to walk away from these orphan homes in about 2 years and go over and visit maybe 2 weeks a year or something, but it becomes a fully Indian work under an Indian congregation is our goal. But we have to grow our food to be able to make that happening. And right now we're probably producing 80% of the food for Rainbow Village and Mustard Seed Village, except for the rice, which we have to buy, most of it anyway. But you see the cabbage, I think that's cabbage planted there. Here you see much cabbage growing. About anything grow in this soil, and we garden year round. Once we're through with one crop, we plow it under, fertilize it with cow manure, in this case water buffalo manure, and we're ready to plant another crop. So we're always planting and growing. You just see a lot of things. See so much maize growing there with the girls waving behind the maize fields. But that big field you see, everything there, is owned by Rainbow Village. We have gardens everywhere in that area, trying to grow our food. Here I am on a tractor. We just purchased this tractor maybe 7 or 8 months ago. And boy, it makes such a difference. It came with a big water thing that holds 500 gallons of water that we can pull around. It came with a big cart that we can move things around. So it's a very good, I think it's a Mahindra tractor. It's very helpful to us in our garden. Here are the girls plucking tea. Our tea garden, we started plucking a little bit last year, and now we can pluck every week through the rainy season. So between now and August, we pluck every Saturday. These girls pluck tea on Saturday morning. We're plucking about 200 pounds of tea every Saturday. And then we sell that tea on the side of the road to a company who will buy it, and they take it to a drying facility and dry it, package it, and sell it. And we'll probably drink it over here someday. But we're hoping that will raise funds, and that money will help continue to work there when the Americans are no longer part of this work. So you just see them plucking tea. You don't pull it. There's a certain way of plucking tea. Here we are planting coconut. I don't know if I spell it right now. Coconut tree. Okay, but we're planting over 100 of them now. Coconut trees provide a lot of food for us, and it grows prolifically where we're at. We have the hybrid trees, which produces fruit within 5 years of planting. And we've already had maybe 50 planted for 3 years, and we've planted 50 more over the last year. One thing about coconut trees, it takes a lot of salt to grow a coconut tree. Usually we use salt to kill things, but coconut trees must be salted every year. They will not grow right, neither will they produce fruit. Here you see some flower gardens in front of the medical building that we have at Rainbow Village being planted. And of course, we grow so much food. This is so much corn, we're drying it out, and hopefully we'll turn it into cornmeal, take it down to the grist mill down the road and have it grounded up and use it for cornmeal. They're not used to cornmeal like we are. I don't know what's wrong with them. I tell them cornmeal and sweet milk in heaven may be what we'll be having up there. But anyway, we get a lot of dry corn. It's sort of funny, this time of year we have thousands of ears of corn coming in, and we give a lot to Mustard Seed Village. We sell some on the side of the road. But these girls, they eat corn in the morning, they eat corn at night. They want to snack at midday. It's probably going to be a boiled ear of corn. So they get a little tired of corn after a while. Our chickens are doing good. We're producing lots of eggs now, most of all the eggs we need, and the eggs that we need to send to Mustard Seed Village. And so you see the chickens there and the eggs being taken every day. If you never refrigerate eggs, if you just leave them sitting out, and if you don't wash the eggs, just leave the eggs just like they came from the mother hen, that egg will last 30 to 60 days. It doesn't have to be refrigerated. So that's what we do there. This is sent to me on Facebook on an email message, what the girls have consumed for the last 2 months. You can see how much we're growing. In the last 2 months in cabbages, 7,600 cabbages. Okay? Corn, 2,500 ears of corn. Beans, 200 kg. That's 500 pounds of beans. Okay. Radishes, 300 kg. They grow big radishes. I mean, we've never seen the radishes like they grow in this country. Carrots, 120 kg. Yam, I'm not sure what calabacia, but some type of in-ground crop, 300 kg. Tomatoes, 1,500 kg. So for about 2 months, you see how much we produce. And we want to use that, of course, to feed our children, to sell some, and to help for what we're doing. Here's our pig pens that we have. In fact, we're building another whole row of pig pens. Our goal is to have about 90 pigs every month, sell about 50 pigs in the market at 2 months of age, keep the other pigs, that we might maybe kill 1 pig a month to feed the children, maybe 2 days of pork. They only want the fat. They don't want the ham. They just want to eat the fat. I don't understand it. But anyway, that's part of our way of becoming self-supporting, trying to raise our chickens, our eggs, our broilers, and our pork. Of course, we don't raise any cows, so we don't offend the Hindus. Here you see, I think you may have met these before. I don't think Romeo's with us anymore, but these girls always name these pigs. This is Snorty and Shorty on the left. You can see where Snorty got his name, right? And then you see Romeo and Juliet, but Juliet's all by herself now, I think. I named Romeo. We ate a few months back. Here's one of our girls. She made this dress. These girls are very good seamstresses. They sewed by hand. From age 12 to about 15, they learned to sew everything by hand. And then we put them on the pedal sewing machine when they're 16, 17, and teach them to use that machine. But they're very good at, we can send materials over, very good for them to make their own dresses. Here's Angela. She's one of our blind girls. She's out washing her clothes. All the girls wash their clothes that way, just in a bucket out there at the hydrant. You can imagine 78 kids rotating washing time. But we have 4 or 5 of these washing places. Here's Aki and Adu, the twin boys. These are the smartest little boys you ever seen, but they have 78 mothers. These little girls mothers them to death, But they are as cute as they can be. Here's Parenti. She's showing a picture of one of her adopted parents. I'm not sure who they are. This probably looks like Hopewell, West Virginia. And again, they're so happy to see pictures from you, things of that nature. It means something to them. These are 2 new children just came to me, and when they come to me, they're a little afraid. They don't know what's going on. Why is my grandmother leaving me here? Or why is my mother leaving me here? Now 25, 26 little girls and mothers have put their hands in my hand and walk away to never see their daughter again, so they can marry some man. If you're a widow and you want to marry another man, he'll say, get rid of those kids first. And they're free to walk away from those daughters. It's just so sad. Just a picture sent to me yesterday. I thought about putting it up here, but it's just too sad. A little baby, a dead little baby girl on the side of the road that the parents just laid out on the side of the road. And someone saw and took a picture of it and sent it to me. But it happens so much in India. These 2 little girls, they'll be apprehensive for a few days, cry for a couple of days, and then they'll fit right in the Rainbow Village, and that becomes their home. They couldn't think of going any place else. These are 4 of my new blind girls. All 4 of these girls are blind. I have, I think, 14 visually handicapped children on my property now that we teach in our schools, and we take care of them. When you accept blind children, you're basically taking them for life. I hope that in some way that I can make them able to live on their own. But that's going to take a lot of work and a lot of preparation, but that is an ultimate goal that we have. These are cute little girls. They were found in Bihar, which is the poorest state in India, in Patna. They were found in the trash pile, given to the Catholic Church. And the Catholic Church took them to Guwahati, and then they heard about me and called me. I went down and met them and saw those little girls, told them, well, let me have them. I'll take care of them. So we have them with us. And I have pictures of 2 of the older girls. That's Ruth and Monica. They're on a little swing that the Americans brought over for the children to swing over. This woman here, I found her at Guwahati again. The Catholic Church is called Sisters of Charity had called me because they know that I have an interest in helping people who are really destitute or have problems. And when she was 5 years old, her mom and dad sold her as a servant girl to a family. Okay? And then they never saw her again. Well, she grew up and matured and began to produce, mature as a young woman. He began to bother her and touch her. He began to rape her and have sex with her on a regular basis. And then he got her pregnant. And then he said, you abort that baby. And she wouldn't do it. She ran. And she ran to the Catholic place in Guwahati, which is the capital of Assam. And they protected her, birthed that baby. And then they called me about her. So I said, let me have her. And, that's her little baby boy, which was given to her out of wedlock. She loves that little boy. And now she's my cook. She's an excellent cook at Rainbow Village. And so we'll take care of her and that baby. Here's a little girl on the swing. I think she's our newest little girl for adoption. She's a cute little thing. Then we have Esther's Place in Andhra Pradesh, a 3rd orphanage I'm trying to grow in South India with the help of some other brothers out in California who wants to work in this area. A few pictures on them, where they're at. But you can see the little Esther's Place. And we're trying to buy a bigger place so we can add more children. We just have about 10 in this place at this time. Good, beautiful children look so much different from the other children because these are truly South Indian with a Dravidian Hindu look. In the Northeast, most all of them migrated out of China in 1947, 1949. The Lisu tribe is predominant there. All those fled China during the Communist Revolution. But these are fully Dravidian, what's called deep Hindu people, children. So they're very beautiful children, which of course need our help. And we are preaching there on a Sunday morning at church, and had a baptism. This is a Muslim woman that were baptized, and she had to go get permission from her Muslim husband. He gave her permission to become a Christian. How long that will last, I'm not sure, but hopefully we'll convert him. He's been coming to the services and so forth. So here she is being baptized in Christ. Just many baptisms take place as we work in India. It's just part of India. It's so good to get in front of people. And when you talk to people, I always talk about the restoration movement, not our restoration movement. That doesn't matter. I talk about the Bible's restoration movement. It goes all the way back to 1 Corinthians 1. Really goes all the way back to Acts 5. Okay, we're always restoring the church. And I may be getting into my sermon tonight, so I will stop. Okay. Here I am with a little girl. She's not afraid of me at all. This is in South India. I'm doing a meeting out somewhere in the village, and she's just a cute little girl. And here my little girl's at Rainbow Village that's sleeping on the floor. I need to get them beds made. I've had some money given so far to build some beds. I need to build about 16 more bunk beds. That way I can put 32 more girls in the beds. But, they sort of like camping out, but it's not healthy for them. These are Bihar orphans. These orphans are waiting for me to come and get them. I just don't have a place to put them. The woman there with them, she's a lawyer. She's sort of a caregiver for them, trying to find a place for them. But you see how poor and destitute these children are. Most of them are true orphan children. And so I hope somehow or another I'll find a way to be able to go to Bihar and get these kids on my next trip over, if we can find a place that we can take care of them. The Antioch program, of course, is our Bible program going on very well in different parts of India that we're trying to establish the New Testament church in big cities and make that preacher self-supporting if we can within 5 years. That's the goal of Antioch. Some places it seems to be on track, some is struggling. It just depends on where we're at. But it's what we do, fishing for men. Now I'm doing a little fishing, but I'm not fishing for men here. And since I've been in India, I have never caught a real fish. I'm not a good fisherman anyway. But you see I'm wearing the right fishing gear, Georgia hat and Georgia shirt. Okay. No luck. Here I'm teaching at one of our Antioch schools to young men who are preachers or desiring to work in the cities with us. So, graduation taking place here. This is probably in Dimapur, I think, where this graduation is. And you can see some of the young men and sisters who come through the Spiritual Sword program to learn the Bible. That program is a one-year program. And once they get that program, they receive a certificate saying they have complete study of the Bible. We actually go through the Bible in a very rapid way 3 times in that 1 year with these people. And just many baptisms take place as we preach from village to village, or as we work in the cities that we're a part of. Just many baptisms. Here's a little village, the Chakmal village that we work with. This is sad here because between Mustard Seed Village and Rainbow Village is a pure jungle. Okay? The largest jungle left on earth is the jungle that I'm working in, on the edge of that jungle. Okay? But all of a sudden, about 7,000 to 8,000 tribal people from somewhere just came into the jungle and began cutting it down and building these little houses to live in. Usually the army will come in and shoot them and move them off, but this time they just left them alone. And now they basically have cut the jungle down and built these houses, and these are all illegal immigrants coming probably from Bangladesh, would be my guess. But they need evangelized, so I've hired a young man, and his wife works for me plucking tea, but he goes and works among these village people every day, talking to them about the New Testament church and about being Christians. And they're all Hindu in their religion, so you can see that. This is Brother Ayman. He's been with me quite a few years. He's in Jorhat, a large city under Antioch. He's doing a great job there. Many conversions. These believer churches, Believers is the largest denomination in India. It's not an American denomination, it's an Indian denomination created in Kerala. And a lot of times when we convert the minister, they call themselves pastors, but when we convert them, we eventually get their building with them. And so that helps us have places of worship. One thing that's happened an awful lot is just the problems we're having with persecution from the Indian government that's really escalated over the last 2 or 3 years, and will probably get very bad over the next 5 or 6 years because the BJP party is in power, run by Prime Minister Modi. They are totally opposed to Christians in every way. And so they passed new laws. For example, if I convert a Hindu to Christianity, and if the village people can get that Hindu man to say he was forced, or he was coerced, then I go to prison for 10 years. And the person who baptized them would go to prison for 10 years. That's the new law in India, so we have to be so careful. Because as far as the government is concerned, any Hindu who would become a Christian had to be coerced. Who's going to leave the great religion of Hinduism, which is the national religion of India, to become a mere Christian? So lots of persecution is happening. Numbers of people are being killed almost on a weekly basis. I know of in the last 6 months, 4 preachers in the Church of Christ have been killed. Indian preachers have been killed in India because of what they call this Hindustava, return to India. Everyone returned to India. And by returning to India, you return to India's religion. If you're an Indian doctor here in America, you come back and be a doctor in India. It's just a huge push against Christianity. And many things are happening. My visa has expired. I'm very concerned about getting another visa to go back to India. And so please pray that will happen. Because over the last 20 Americans who've tried to come over to work with me, 18 of them have had their visas rejected. And they just stamp rejected. They don't give you a reason. But I'm certain it's because they realize they're coming from a Christian nation. And no one would go to Northeast India where I'm working unless it's a mission activity, because there's no place of beauty or any place to come for vacation. It's a place of hard work if you come to the Northeast. Much conversion, persecution is coming, and it's already there. Here I'm preaching in Kohima. This is a big Naga Baptist church, a big one. And maybe 500 people are listening to me. And I'm just up there preaching about, the restoration plea. Let's just return to the New Testament church. Let's be Christians and Christians only. Okay? And it resonates with these folks. Their main pastor was on the front pew. He just kept shaking his head. Yes. I thought maybe he had Parkinson's, but he was just saying yes. But afterwards, he asked me to stay back with the other elders, they called them, and have tea with them. And we did. And we discussed the idea of being just one church for over an hour. And Kohima, which is the capital of Nagaland, is really ripe for the New Testament church to come in. I just don't have a man yet I can train to put there. I pray that will happen here soon. Baptism's taking place. These are all blind people that about half of them we have baptized, the other half we're working on, but we provide them food every month. They would be starving to death. We give them rice, we give them oil to cook with, we give them salt, we give them some dal to boil to go over their rice. We have been able to do this for about 2 years. And this is in Darjeeling, in West Bengal. You see a baptism take place. Hard to see that white shirt there, but I'll be a little concerned about getting that water out there. But anyway, the Lord's with you. Here's 7 people being baptized with Brother Kong. Brother Kong was a believer's pastor. That means he was over 100 churches of the believer's church. So when he was converted, he's gone back and converted many of the believer pastors, brought them into the New Testament church. We've sent them through our spiritual Bible school. And then they're out converting their former members in the denomination into the Lord's church. This is in Calcutta. Islam is a growing religion in India, and it's a menacing religion to Christianity and to many places in the world. But here you see this Islamic woman. She's staring at me because I'm taking her picture through my windshield. It's not right to take a picture of an Islamic woman. If an Islamic husband saw me take that picture, he would probably attack me for doing that. Because you just don't do that. They have much control over their women and everything they do. There's many more baptisms. I was in Sri Lanka, and this guy coming up wanting to charge me maybe what we call American dollar to put this pit pipe around my neck and take this photo shoot. And it's simply what this is. There's no poison in that snake. At least he told me there was no poison in that snake. So you have to be careful who you believe, But anyway, that's a pit viper. That kills about 28,000 people a year die in South India from the bite of this snake. It hits them in the chest usually. And there's an antidote. There's no way to get to the antidote before you die. You have maybe 30, 40 minutes to get to the antidote. Not going to happen. So many of them die. And they worship the god called Rapam, which is the snake god, praying that maybe this snake won't bite them if they worship the snake god. So you can see this. And my wife thinks I'm crazy here. The snake does too, it looks like. But, here's a big god. This is coming into Guntur down in Andhra Pradesh. This statue is probably, I have no idea, maybe 60, 70 feet tall, at least 7 stories tall, overlooking this city. And you see these huge statues in many cities. They build these humongous statues of their gods. When I look at them, I can't help to think about songs and proverbs and other things that speak of how can you worship that which you make with your own hands. In every train station, there's a road gallery. Road's a British word for a thief or someone who's a criminal. it's interesting always, first I make sure my picture's not there, okay? And then secondly, make sure I don't know anybody on these. But every train station has this road gallery of these people they're looking for. It looks like most of them are there for drugging criminals. I don't think drugging is spelled right there either, but that's the British spelling, so forth. More baptisms over and over through Antioch. Of course, we're baptizing. The great challenge in India is not the baptizing of people, it's the maturing of people, maturing them in Christ so they can stand on their own 2 feet, so that when the missionary walks away, or when the preacher that's preaching in that village, he leads to another village, they can continue on their own. And what I'm developing will hopefully start next year once I'm through with a school building is what I call a home church organization, where I will bring people in and just teach them how to begin the church in your home. There'll be no support, no money, because one of the problems of India is American dollars. American dollars corrupt many people. Okay? And so I'm trying to get churches established by brothers and sisters dedicated to Jesus Christ, not dedicated to being on American support. And that's what we want to do. So just many pictures of baptisms here. Just recently saw this in Sri Lanka when I was down there. This is a celebration of a Hindu god. It's a very fancy ceremony that unfortunately I was invited to go to and couldn't turn down, but I did get some good pictures. This is a man that's dressing up like one of the gods, and he will dance and do all kinds of weird stuff, and supposed to give the blessings to people and so forth, and then you give him money. If you get a blessing, you got to give money, right? And of course I would not give money to something like that. Our medical missions continue to go well. We do a lot of medical missions. Our preachers who go with us do a lot of preaching. We do quite a bit of conversion because of our benevolence. When we help people who are sick or who needs another doctor, it opens the doors to talk to them about Christ. And so that's been very, very effective. In our medical camps, we probably treat, 200 people a day is probably average when I do a medical camp. You can imagine trying to treat 200 patients in one day. But it can be done. You begin right in sunlight and you go to dark. And the other works that we do here, just some pictures. His little boys can hit right between the head. And you see his eyes. He cleared up fine. It didn't hurt him, but they look pretty bad when he comes into the clinic, of course. Just always treating patients, anything that might be happening to them. This little boy is such bad shape. His mother ran off and left 4 boys in a tin shed in Margarita and ran off with some man into another state and never to come back. And these kids been living by themselves 3 or 4 months. And this little boy is so sick. His scrotum, everything is 3 or 4 times its normal size. His kidneys are in failure. When we found him, I sent him to the hospital with antibiotics, and being in the hospital about 2 weeks, he's fully recovered. And now he's with me at the Mustard Seed Village. So glad to have him with us. There's many ones. This is a major windstorm that blew through Carbon Long a few months ago. I got there maybe 3 days after that. There's no hospitals, no ambulances, none of that exists in this area. And so when I get there, this woman's pretty banged up. I just bandaged her up the best I could and so forth. She's running a high fever just from the infections, I'm sure, that's developing in her body from all the things that's happened to her. Here I'm doing a clinic with Priya, who's the doctor. She's a medical doctor. Her husband's the preacher for us in Guntur. And she's a very good doctor. We enjoy doing clinics together. Here's a woman with I don't think the name of it, elephantitis set down into her feet. And she'll always have this problem, always. This gal, the man on the left there, you see his arm has been cut. He's getting an infection on the end of there where that stump is located. And of course, the man never got in that right foot would be what I think that is. Nothing I can do about that, but treat it topically, of course, and give them pain medicine. Here I'm giving polio vaccine to all our girls at Rainbow Village, making sure they have their polio vaccination. This man came to me with great infection on his leg. You can see how messed up it was. It was in an accident. How in the world it stayed on, I don't know. But it's been there a couple of years, but now it's badly infected, so I'm just treating it with antibiotics internally and externally both. This is Pendle. She's one of my little girls. She's had this terrible skin infection for a couple of years. I think I've just about got it cleared up. But skin infections are a big problem in a third world country because there's no clean water. Rarely ever can you find a bar of soap. Okay? And maybe once a week you might find a place to take a bath. Okay? And lots of places. So skin diseases is a prevalent problem. In my clinics, like I say, sometimes I have 200, 300 people lined up. There's no way I can see them all. I just do the best I can. But I took a picture of this sign, had this sign made, and I thought as a joke, if I put this outside my clinic door, maybe people would, would walk away because it says a corpse van, 24 hours, dead body ambulance. I said, well, that's beside my medical clinic. maybe not everybody want to come in and see me, but it's just something funny. This is Brother Kong with a little girl. She has chicken pox. That's her on the left. She just died. That's her on the right. And she didn't survive. Common illnesses that we take care of here will kill these children because they're anemic. Their vitamin levels are totally depleted. They have so many health problems and health concerns that things just wipe them out. If I could have got this little girl, I was trying to, $100 would have saved her life. But just couldn't make it. And the same is true of this little boy on the left, same problem. On the left he's living, a few minutes later on the right he's passed away. It's always sad to see that happen, and in so many ways we can help these kids. It's just, again, money is always a problem. Here's Calcutta, just very quickly. I do some work in Calcutta trying to help the street people. 2 million people live on the street. Over 100,000 kids beg and live on the streets, and it's just a huge problem. You can see the open sewer. I'm walking down this open sewer through the city of about 26 million people. Okay? This open sewage everywhere. You can see these kids. This is the Howard Bridge. It's the busiest bridge on earth. I mentioned this before. Over 1 million people every day walk across this bridge. If you can imagine that. The world's busiest bridge. And, built by the British. Here's a typical poor person's house in the city of 26 million. He just found a tree and put up a tarp between that and some other wall, and that's where they live. It's total primitive. They have no place to bathe, these 2 million people. They go down to the Howard River there, or the Ganga, which flows into Calcutta, and they bathe in these waters. It's the only place to take a bath, and those waters are pretty dirty. Here's a little beggar on the street in Calcutta. She wanted money, but I went and bought her a little bit of candy and gave it to her. I think she's happy with the candy, but I'm not sure about her mother. Here's a little boy sleeping on the street, and he's just a street child. He's just a street child. You see so many, this little woman sleeping on the road, that's all she has. Here's a little baby just sound asleep out there on the streets. Here's an old man probably dying there on the side of the road, constant problem. Here's this poor old woman. I may have used this scripture because I've had her for about a year on here, but I just look at her and she's just a picture of what it means to live on the streets as an older woman with no one to take care of you. Finally, let's look at Theophilus English Medium School. We just opened the school with your help and the help of many people. We've been building this school for a year and a half, and just opened the school back on April 13th or 14th, somewhere in there, and so forth. It's funny, right outside the school, every morning, every evening, I see these elephants. They're going to work. I don't know if they're union elephants or not, but they go to work in the morning, and you see them coming back late in the evening. Elephants are hard workers. They can carry their weight. They can pick up the biggest telephone pole around here, no problem. Just carry it around. It's just amazing how strong these things are. Here you see our school coming together. We really didn't have it totally completed when we started, but the school is enough to hold about 400 kids as we grow. And you can see some of the pictures of that. Here I am. This is called a Indian ladder. They just put it down and stack it together, and I have to climb to get on top. I'm trying to get cell signal where I can call Cindy. Very hard to get cell signal in that jungle area. But hopefully one day they'll put a cell tower and make a difference. Here we are making our furniture for our school. It's all made by hand, most of it. It takes a lot of hard work. Everything's done with chisel and hammer to make things fit together, mortise and tendon, and things of that nature. Here they're made spinning on a wheel. This is up in Meow. Making our teachers' desks, administrators' desks, so forth. These are our students' desks for class 1 and 2. We sit 2 at each desk. The rest of them will have individual desks. This is a large room. My office is off to the left, and 3 or 4 offices are off that run the school. And in the middle is just main for teachers and staff. You see the man on the end there, he's putting in a biometric machine. Our children, when they come in, they put the thumbprint on that machine. And that way we know every child is accounted for. And the same is true of teachers. We know exactly when the teacher showed up, okay? And the same when they leave. So we know that the children have come on campus and they have left, and we have a record of it. We also have a video count system outside that takes the tag of any car that comes on the property. So we're trying to have very, very good security. In this area, you need it. More girls are and boys, but primarily girls are kidnapped in this area more so than anywhere in India, perhaps anywhere in the world, kidnapped and sold into sex slavery, all types of slavery. So we try to watch them very carefully. Here's our library coming together. Very proud of our library. So many books sent over by you guys all across the United States. We've shipped crates and crates of books for our library. This picture in the back there. This picture is all blind for all the blind. This is all Braille books for our blind children. We have the largest Braille library probably in Northeast India. Just so many books have been shipped over for us. We have the entire Bible, which I forgot how many volumes that is. I want to say maybe 32 volumes that have the Bible in Braille. Okay. And you can see our library is very nice. That quilt on the wall you see on the side, that quilt tells a story. That was made for one of the little girls, Sonika, I believe, wasn't it? Huh? Sonika? Oh, Lois made for Sonika, but there's a little paper book comes with it that tells the story of this elephant that travels the world. It's a real interesting quilt that she made there. And so I said, Sonika, sleep with it one night, and then donate it to the library. And that's what she did. Here our kids are signed. First day of school. You can see the school still needs a lot of work on it, but we had to get school started. We were already about 3 weeks behind. And they wear their uniforms. Still need to get a few more uniforms, but we all wear uniforms. Some of these children used for this on Signy. You see how on Signy is just really growing up. And just a nice young man. And this is Sujita. You see, Bob thinks she's an American Indian with her pigtails. I remember my oldest sisters always wore pigtails when they had long hair like that. And I just named a newborn baby Mahala. Mahala was my grandmother's name. She was full Cherokee on my dad's side of the family. My dad's mother was a full-blooded Cherokee. And her name was Mahala. A new little baby we named Mahala. But Sujita is just maturing, growing little girl. This is Yosita, and Brother Sid takes care of, this is Belinda. This is Sujita, Yosita. Brother Sid takes care of this girl. And see how long her hair is. And she is such a good, all these children are good. Here are their class pictures. Quickly, I'll show them to you. You can see all the different classes. They're not in class order. You see that little bitty one on the front. She just come to me. I'm not sure what her age is, whether she even ought to be there. This is class 6. N and X should not be there. Class 8. Class 7. Class 5. And 3. They look very good in their uniforms. In fact, they enjoy wearing uniforms. You can imagine how hard it is to go to school here to go to uniforms. But in India, it's required, and they don't think they should go to school if they don't have a uniform on. So that's what they wear. Here they are in the classrooms. These desks here we purchased, individual desks, 160 of them that we purchased so that all the older kids will have their own desks. And you can see the desk we got for kindergarten and preschool where it sits around. So all this is much modern to what we have had in the past. So very good. And these are the desks that were made locally and so forth. Well, this is class 2, I believe. This is class 4. This is class 1 and 2 together for a Bible class. We begin our day with a Bible program, a Bible class for an hour every morning before they begin their math and then their science, and we move through the academic subjects. These little girls are in kindergarten. They're just sitting there on the side on the first day of school. Yeah, it's a little boy on the far left. You might notice his right eye is not there. He's from Gandhigram, but someone poked a stick in his eye. And there's just nothing we can do about it. He sees good out of his left eye. Oh, I call him One-Eyed Jack. He's such a good kid with a good sense of humor. This is part of our visually impaired class, and actually we're looking for a visually impaired teacher right now. I thought I had one, and she came all the way from Delhi, highly trained. She had never been out of a big city. When she got to my jungle and realized she didn't have cell phone, she left in 2 days and went back to Delhi. So I was very sad because I needed a blind teacher, and I'm still looking for one. This is Delina. She's our principal over the girls and our co-principal over the school. She is so good in her work. She holds a master's in educational administration. Very good. And one of our blind boys, Jitapan, he's the one I believe that if I can do cataract surgery on him, he might be able to see. We're going to try that. This is constant reading the Braille. And this is our break room for the teachers and copy rooms and so forth. And our plans for the next 5 years, very quickly, is we want to complete the new Mustard Seed Village for the boys, so they'll be living right up there with the girls and where the school is. And then we've got to build our vocational school, because most of our boys will never graduate past 12. If we can get them through class 8, maybe class 10, and then train them in electrical work, plumbing, carpentry, in one of the, what they call mystery skills, what we would call vocational skills, then they'll be able to take care of themselves. So these are some of our plans going forward. Number 7 is very important, semi-retirement back to the USA, I hope, here in a few years. Well, I love my work over there and would always want to go and visit as long as I live on the earth, but I would like to spend more time in the USA. Anyway, thank you so much for listening and being a part of this work and the support. You have faithfully been a part of this work for I don't know how many years, at least 7 or 8 years, right? Yeah. So I'm only asking for 8 more years. Thank you. Any questions? If you have any questions, feel free to talk. And there's a sign-up sheet in the back to sign up for the newsletter if you need it. I also have 30 children that need to adopt them. If you're interested in looking through those pictures and want to adopt one, there's directions back there on how to do that. Thank you.